listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies.
This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Cougar Town After Show.
We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show.
It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Cougar Town After Show.
Hey there, Cougar Town fans, Cougar Towns people, Cougar Townians, whatever you want to call them. Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV. You know where you are. We're doing the Cougar Town After Show, Season 5, Episode 13, We Stand a Chance. I'm Matt Lieberman. Joining me as always, fantastic and talented Miss Jenna Couture is here.
Hello!
Stephen Lemieux in the booth engineering for us.
Hello.
Thank you, Stephen. And we have 3 fantastic guests with us tonight. The showrunner of Cougar Town, Mr. Blake McCormick, is here.
Thank you so much for having us, guys.
And 2 of our amazing writers, Jenn D'Angelo is here.
Hello!
And Melody Derloshon. Yeah, she's just giving me the thumbs up. It's
a hard last name.
But I think I handled it with aplomb, and we're all very happy about that. Because of the sheer size of our panel this evening, normally we review a single wine. Tonight we're reviewing 3 because we've already worked our way through 2. The Fadeaway Pinot Noir I thought was very, very nice. I know a few of us were drinking it. Any thoughts on the one? The red one, they're all pretty red. The Pinot is great. We've also got the Bogle Vineyards Petite Syrah, which I'm enjoying right now. And if anyone runs out during the podcast, we have the Chateau Saint Michel 2011 Cabernet Sauvignon from the Columbia Valley. It's a big deal. So, gang, what a fantastic finale, a nice capper to a really fun season. It's been a pleasure to recap it all season long. And, Jenna, from the very beginning, you called it that there was going to be a Cougar Town baby this season.
I didn't know if there was enough sex on the show to call for a baby, but I was hoping.
You were hoping.
And I was right.
And you were totally right. Well, I mean, we started this season with Trav and Lori sex practically on scene. Scandalous.
I know the first episode was pretty
If you watch that shower scene really slow, you can actually see the moment of conception. We plotted it out that far in advance. Her hand's on the wall.
It's smart.
It's a little Easter egg.
She just has a really long gestation period.
Yeah,
she does.
No, it's the lost logic. You plant it there right from the very beginning,
Exactly.
and it's that symbol. But now we know a union has been made.
Yes.
Genetically. Cool. Well,
I can't believe I was right, though. I always make
you
predictions.
should be
I'm
proud.
Never right.
Be proud. You knew it from the very beginning.
Proud. I'm proud.
Okay.
I mean, we thought about breaking them up. How did you call that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought that it was going to last. I was okay with it. I thought they would pull through. Like in the beginning, we didn't know if they were going to make it, if everyone was going to be okay with it. And
so,
I was just thinking,
what was the discussion in the writer's room? Was this something that you saw coming from the beginning of the season? Last year you got them together. So, how do you continue that?
Well, at the end of every season, we try and do something that feels big and significant, and for the past 3 seasons we haven't known if we were doing a season finale or a series finale, so we knew we wanted to go out in something big, and a wedding or an engagement just felt wrong for those 2, but we thought a pregnancy would be good for them and for Jules. Just complete unpredictability, and her life's about to get very messy.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, they're so used to having their adult fun, right? How are you going to be able to enjoy all this wine and all this fun conversation and all of the various lies that you give to other people when you have a small child around? It's why we never see Stan.
No,
I know, where is Stan?
I don't know.
He looks like Dexter's baby, by the way. I'm just saying he would have been cast as a perfect Dexter baby.
He could grow up into
he
Dexter.
disappears conveniently
Right?
for several seasons at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fine though, guys. Don't worry about it.
He's being raised by the television and probably at this day and age, the YouTube.
And he has a nanny.
They sprinkle some cereal on the floor. He's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Totally fine.
Yeah.
Tom hangs out with him.
Yeah. He's got one of those, my girlfriend has a cat feeder where every time the bowl empties, more pours down from the top. So I imagine that's what he's got, but with like a Lucky Charms dispenser.
He might be dead. We don't know.
He might be dead.
Yeah.
Just a slow drip at the fountain in the bathroom. He's just there.
We kind of thought that Tom might have a love interest this season.
Yeah.
But just Jules.
Yeah, just Jules. Well, here, let's talk about what happened in this episode, and then we'll get into more of a general discussion. We have lots to ask you. It's always fun to have writers on a comedy in here because I feel like the writer's room environment is entirely different. Every episode, could lead to the next one, or it could be a complete standalone. And I want to talk about where these characters are and how the show has evolved since it moved to TBS. Getting ahead of myself. So, the big news this week. Jules, she's got this physical. If she screws it up, her life insurance policy will be through the roof.
White people problems, man.
White people problems, man. I hear it. I'm so happy that you did that. I grew up, where I grew up, white people were a serious minority. So
Where did you grow up, Matt?
I grew up in New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
But it just
New Jersey is full of white people.
they are, but they are not in my high school.
Oh, okay.
It's a very divided state.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of like streets that are like barriers, getting away from the episode. But those jokes spoke to me very highly. So she needs some pee. Can't be her own because Ellie is dumping happy pills in her wine when she's not looking.
She's a good friend.
She is a good friend. I wish I had more friends with happy pill prescriptions that, would dose me.
Right.
Yeah.
That was actually an interesting standards thing is we found that happy pills we could get through, but we tried Xanax, and then we tried uppers and downers and everything, and the only thing they would let us get through was happy pills.
That's so
nice,
strange.
It's nice and vague, right?
That's like so
Happy
perverse,
pills.
though, because that could be anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just straight up LSD is what she drips in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because Happy Pills does not sound like the street name of ecstasy or anything.
No, not at all. That pill that makes you happy. Yeah. How could you get those confused?
Yeah, I've definitely never asked for those.
Definitely not. No, we've never bought drugs. Anyway, so Lori volunteers gratefully her pee, and Jules goes to the doctor, and she just puts on the most convincing show ever. She's not overdoing it when she says, just give me a place to pee my own pee that is mine, and I will pee it, and we'll all be very happy. And the doctor's like, unfortunately, though, we get a bit of news. Well, or maybe fortunately. I think unfortunately because I'm a pessimist. But we find out that Lori is pregnant.
With a baby.
With a baby, probably Travis's baby.
You assume it's a baby, but we haven't talked about this.
She's had a storied life.
She has.
She could be pregnant with an alien.
It's a goat.
Or a dolphin or a goat. All right, so we have baby, alien, dolphin, goats. Any other takers on what she's pregnant with?
Could just be like a computer.
Ooh. She's pregnant with
True, the iPad Mini.
With an iPad Mini.
Or just like a full desktop computer, like a Dell.
Like a 90s era Dell? Like a dude you're getting a Dell era Dell?
This is feeling very product placement-y. What is the computer that's going to come out of her womb?
Hey, man, that's a good opportunity to get some dollars.
It's a Hewlett-Packard, really?
Wow. Well, hey, man, they were willing to pay through the nose to launch their new HP boring
whatever
PC.
Yes.
Anyway, that was a terrible joke. So she doesn't know how to handle it. Thank you for the reassuring hand on the shoulder. They can't all be winners, Blake.
No. I mean, 300. That's a good batting average.
Thank you. It is a good.
That's what I strive for.
That's what you strive for as running a show in its fifth season.
Just my own life.
Okay, sure. So she has no idea how to deliver this news. So instead of taking them aside privately,
I can't believe she was so public about it.
Right,
she's like, let's throw a
putting
party.
up
I was like,
decorations.
She loves life.
She does.
That's the insanity that is Jules, though. I mean, everything's public, nothing's quiet, nothing's behind closed doors. So
way to find out you're pregnant in a group of publicly.
I mean, better to learn from your close friends than from strangers. But the fact is, Trav is 22. He just graduated from college. And my whole fear going into this, and even into this relationship, is just Lori has lived far more than he has. He was a sheltered kid. But
he was mature. He was hanging out with adults. He was totally fine.
Yeah, he has the spirit of a divorced 42-year-old man.
Totally. Yes.
Well, I would say
He's ready for it.
on some levels, he's more mature than, say, a Bobby or a Grayson. But at the same time, he's got his whole life ahead of him. We don't know how he's going to react to a child. Thankfully, though, he's so in love with Lori that this is something that he's not only open to, but that he seems ready for. And it's kind of gratifying to see a young male character not shy away from a pregnancy on television in 2014.
We did shoot an alternate ending where he goes, "That ain't mine," and then he runs out, and then the
What?
show ends.
That didn't go through.
That didn't shoot. That's not a thing.
Well, it tested very poorly.
Yeah.
Was the tag just like a dance remix of "That Ain't Mine"? And
Yes.
he's breakdancing with Grayson and Bobby.
Yeah, he's wearing a fake mustache in Puerto Rico. He's just run away.
Oh,
Gosh,
great.
He took it like a champ. That's crazy news to find out at such a young age. 22. I mean, I think about 22 and I'm like, would hate to have a baby at 22.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
like,
I think he took it like a champ the moment he heard it. But supposing we do have another season, I think it's going to be a giant pain in the ass and a very big mess. And like, we didn't want to have them get engaged and make people think everything is going to be perfect and happy and they're going to be a great family. Because if there is another season, they're probably not going to get married. They're going to struggle through this, and maybe they'll stay together for a while. Maybe they won't, but they're going to be bound
maybe
together
they
by
won't.
this.
I don't know. Cougar Town always has such happy endings. I can't imagine them not figuring it out by the end of the episode.
Well, I was concerned, and you know this because I was talking about it last week. I assumed that, having Chick move in, which is just such a huge...
By the way, who predicted his death?
That was me.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm so happy to be wrong.
Yeah, me
but the
too.
fact is,
I did not want to kill Chick.
good.
I can't believe you guys were thinking about killing Chick.
That was one direction we almost went.
Too predictable.
Too predictable.
Well, I'm glad we didn't do it then.
Yeah.
We just love Ken Jenkins so much. We didn't want him to not be on the show anymore. So we
Sure.
went the opposite route and said, why don't we have
Yeah.
him back for every episode?
I
if they
would
come
probably
back.
need a week off if we killed his character because I like him so much.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
so sweet.
He's great.
And he
makes
did-
furniture, guys.
He did an amazing job this week. He did an amazing job. And honestly, it's the first example we have of what the show would look like with him on it more often. What he's like hanging out with the guys at Gray's Pub it's kind of like almost repiloting the show. What is the show like with Ken Jenkins as a regular? I want more. I really enjoy his interplay with Grayson and Bobby. I'm still worried about him. His Alzheimer's is definitely going to get worse. I hope that he lives to see the baby get born.
Oh, geez. So gloomy. It's not what the show is about, Matt.
I understand that that's not what the show is about, but doesn't it prove how much I care about the show? That I just want the
I think it
best
does.
for everyone?
I think it
Okay,
does.
fine.
Yeah, you have to accept that there are terrible things that happen in life, Jenna, okay?
Not on Cougar Town, obviously.
Okay.
Okay.
Sometimes on Cougar Town.
Hey, Grayson and Bobby could have lost that breakdance battle. It could have taken a really dark turn.
Yeah.
I think they did lose that break.
Okay, they did lose.
Yes, but
there
they
was
walked
no
out-
official
But
judges.
they didn't care. Yeah.
With their heads held high.
They
true,
left
that's true.
before there was any scorecards held up.
Exactly. No scorecards, no judges. They forfeited with their heads held high.
It's true.
One of the horrible things about editing an episode down a time is you have to cut out stuff that you love. We had about 18 minutes of them breakdancing that would have just been phenomenal to watch, but we had other things we had to get to.
Well,
so
hey, man.
unfortunately,
Is DVD still a thing?
there you go.
You can put it on the
Blu-rays.
DVD.
That's our
Blu-rays.
DVD
Blu-rays.
Yeah.
Laserdiscs.
Laserdisc.
Just make all that footage the loading screen for the discs.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. So she's trying to figure out how to tell them what's up. Unfortunately, though, just when she's about to tell them, they have this huge blow up over at Andy's, which we'll get into in a minute. So there's this rampant, we got to take down the decorations. But of course, no one takes down any decorations. Everyone's just taking the stuff that could have stayed. The food, the wine, anything fun. So
They don't do many things well.
Yeah.
These people.
It's true.
Yeah.
But when Travis walks in, he's so distraught he doesn't notice the congratulations banner still on the wall, or the several balloons, or the fact that just everyone's there waiting expectantly for him. It's a big deal.
They're just hanging out as normal.
Sure.
And they
Business
do
as
weird
usual.
things. Like that could have just been any day in their
Yeah.
lives.
You're absolutely right. every day is just so kind of quirky in the grand scheme of things. He could have walked in and it could have been congratulations for anything. It could have been congratulations to Bobby. He found that quarter that he was waiting for all his life.
On a normal day, if Tom walks in with balloons, is anyone going to be really like blown away?
No.
No.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It's kind of weird enough for him.
Yeah. So they have to cancel this wonderful moment. Travis is in supreme turmoil, but thankfully the two of them were able to make up. They love each other. They realized what they had, and Jules was able to put together a wonderful moment as she let them know that they're pregnant, and Trav owned up to his stuff.
I know. I'm glad they did that. I'm glad they did the makeup before you're pregnant.
Right.
You know, because it would have been so awkward to be broken up and then you're pregnant and then getting back together just because we're pregnant.
Yeah.
Well, that would have gone to the "It Ain't Mine" story that we that we almost said.
Right. And honestly, one of my favorite things about it is we lead to this wonderful moment between Chick and Jules. She's freaking out over this whole thing, and he gives her the same advice that he gave her 22 years ago when she was pregnant with Trav, which, cycle. She was 22 when she had Trav. Trav is now 22 having a child. So odds are it'll turn out at least as good as Trav, which, considering his character, is a good thing. He's a nice guy.
Things are like evolving the right direction.
Yeah.
So, by like their great-grandchild, things will be better.
Okay.
For the Cobb family.
You think that they're moving on up?
Feels like it.
Mm-hmm.
Travis is pretty legit.
Travis is pretty legit. Not a millionaire yet.
No, he's working a coffee box, so
yes,
they're gonna be living under Jules' roof next year. It's gonna be a full house.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So is that definitely happening? They're both living under Jules' roof.
Not definitely. That's what I think is gonna happen.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll leave it open.
House.
He's the showrunner, so if he says that, I'm gonna be on board with it.
Yeah.
But he's also gonna keep saying "It Ain't Mine."
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're out.
Well, that could be just a fun couple joke. I feel like that's something that Lori actually would get on board with if it was her idea.
I love you, but seriously, it ain't mine.
Yeah. And it could be a thing that actually I'm legitimately imagining this as an episode. It's a thing that they do, but Lori secretly has some self-doubt about it because it brings her back to the idea that Travis could still bolt, leaving them to the nice moment. Anyway, I'm going to stop writing your show. I'm going to talk.
I'll
it makes
take
it easier.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are the ones getting the
episodes.
paychecks. Yeah. I'm going to talk really quickly about iTunes because I have to, and
Please.
I'm sorry.
I love iTunes.
Folks, yeah.
Great gift cards.
Great gift
A lot of
cards.
uses.
Yeah, there's a lot
Not
of
just music.
Yeah, movies, podcasts, which you
shows.
could get for free, TV shows like Cougar Town. Oh, yeah, give yourself a little more. We're pouring some wine right now. But here's the thing, folks. AfterBuzz TV, we put out over 60 hours of quality content a week. We really love doing it. And the fact is, every time that you rate and review one of our shows, it raises the collective water level of every show on the network. It's how we get our sponsors. It's how we get great guests like Blake, like Melody, like Jenn in the studio to let them know this is, a great place with a great audience.
I'm sorry the dog Travis canceled.
I was really pissed off.
He was really supposed to be here. And
this is so him.
He booked a
though.
movie.
It's so typical.
Dog Travis is a diva.
Yes.
And honestly, the way that he's raising those pups, I'm concerned. The masks in public,
Right?
dangling them over hotel balconies by the nape of their neck, as a dog does. Very scary.
He wouldn't even talk to the puppy actors when the cameras weren't rolling.
Wow.
It was really cold.
It was cold.
It's
Ice
cold
cold.
treatment, ice
Yeah.
It
cold.
was really sad.
And you know what? I want the best for them, and I hope that they're able to extricate themselves from that situation. It's not nice. Okay, so Andy, meanwhile, his job is in trouble. He's got sales so low that when his boss ranked everyone's sales in the entire company, they just forgot to include him. That's bad.
Makes me so sad. I love Andy. He's like our trooper. He's our, he's our guy.
He's just so nice.
Kind of
He's
the Rock.
so
He's
nice.
very stable, keeps things in order.
Stable, cheerful, childlike enthusiasm.
positive.
Yeah,
and works.
exactly.
And he's probably the one we see working the most on this show.
Yeah.
I mean, he wears a tie.
Except for Grayson. I mean, Grayson's at work most of the time, but is it really work?
He's never talking to customers.
He's
No.
only polishing glasses.
He just polishes glasses. It's ridiculous.
It's his OCD, though. He does not like a water stain.
That's true.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't want to
But what about his chicken fingies?
They are the real
They're
deal.
fine.
Yeah.
They're the real deal.
There's
Everyone said they're fine.
There's some fine thingies. So Andy decides, rather than actually try to pursue a real client, to make some fake clients in the form of Lori and Travis, posing as newly minted app millionaires, which Lori and Travis, jump into wholeheartedly. Travis looks so fine in his ascot, which no 22-year-old millionaire would wear. He has to realize this.
Maybe.
He's an odd guy.
I mean,
he really
have you
is.
seen the hipsters cruising around like
I am
the east
one.
side? Not without an ascot.
I have a hooded vest and a wooden tie.
A
Those are-
wooden tie?
A wooden tie. It's actually pretty badass.
That's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
But ascot, think about it.
Okay.
Just think about
It's
it.
impressive.
All right, fine, everyone. You've beaten me down, okay? Does it make you happy to see the shell of a man before you?
It's usually
I
me
thought
and
it was
Chelsea.
ridiculous too.
Okay.
It was ridiculous.
Right. Well, I mean, you're playing make-believe. You want to be...
Not since Freddy from Scooby-Doo has a man pulled off an ascot.
It's the truth. Yeah. Dan Bird, we need to talk to him. We need to let him down easy. Ascots aren't necessarily the thing for him in the future.
I feel like Lori probably was like, babe. where
Ascot.
they asked. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very Lori.
Yeah, exactly. It's how she views millionaires.
Yeah.
That had to be like a Mr. Hal tie-in from Gilligan's Island,
For
right?
sure.
Isn't that her frame of reference for a millionaire?
Absolutely. Is there another reference we should have?
I think so.
I mean, did
Mine
her
too.
mom ever briefly date a millionaire who then went on to do something wacky?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I imagine that whoever that was, they wore an ascot.
Her father was a state comptroller.
Yes.
Yep.
Is that something that was actually established on the show, or is that something you just know?
No, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
Like
And
season
then-
1-ish.
And then
Oh my God, so long ago.
I mean, her dad was like a real dude with a job, and then
What?
and then he ran off. Or Lori's family was the second family, and he had a real family, and
Yeah, he had a real
That
family and
sounds
then
familiar.
knocked up Lori's mom.
Yeah.
Right. So they jump into this fake marriage
Fake
wholehearted.
marriage. This is like fake the season.
Mm-hmm.
Like
There's
all season, we've been faking all sorts of things.
Well, I feel like on it's a Cougar Town trope, the fake something, fake it till you make it mentality.
All right.
It's it's something that we've revisited a lot because it works for these people. Think about at the very least in Jules and Bobby's case, right? They had to grow up real fast when they were very young. Bobby is still very childlike. Andy still has this childlike enthusiasm. One of the things that I found most rewarding about Grayson this season is peeling back his masculinity and discovering the child within.
I know. He's been so nerdy this season. I love him.
Yeah, it legitimately it plays right into Josh Hopkins' wheelhouse. I love what he's doing this season. But the fact is, these are all people who were forced into adulthood without really a ton of experience or a ton of knowledge that has served them very well.
You've seen this show.
I've watched
Several times.
it.
That's
I've watched
impressive.
it since the beginning.
I'm impressed.
Oh,
that's
Matt is
exactly
like
right.
the expert.
How is it? Is it good?
Personally, I enjoy it. Some
Oh, that's
people.
It's true. Everything in their lives is very pretend and make believe, and they've all had to grow up fast. But I mean, to be honest, they don't really have jobs. I mean, they kind of do. But
Right.
They're always just goofing around, and there are a lot of things in their lives that are kind of fake, But at the end of the day, they're just all around the island, and that's kind of where the show lives.
Yeah, exactly. So let's just do whatever we can to maintain the kitchen island and not have to sell it.
Exactly.
And if that means you got to fake a marriage to fool a boss into thinking that you're about to land a multi-million-dollar client, then that's what you do. Unfortunately, however, in making up these vast backstories, a vast backstory for Lori and giving just Travis a name that was basically Tavis, they didn't really talk about the future in their own relationship, and it kind of blows up in their faces. Travis wants to move to New York, be a photographer. Lori wants 5 kids in the country, which, I mean, 5 is a lot.
5 is a lot these
for
days.
anyone.
5 is a lot. I've actually seen one of my old managers broke up for the very same reason and the same example. She wanted to live in New York City, and
he wanted 5 kids.
They were married for 11 years.
topical-
He wanted to live in the
topical
country. He didn't like crowds. I'm like, that is a legitimate. They divorced over that. Like
Yeah.
they were really happy together.
5
but
is like what marsupials do. That's not
That's a
that's not
litter.
it's not a human
Insane.
trait.
it's a litter.
That's a
It
full
is.
litter.
That's a full
it
litter.
is a litter. My mom is one of 5. Like I'm like,
Ugh.
It's
I thought-
beautiful. It's beautiful when you have
I
5.
wish there was more of that.
I know it's a very human trait to do, and
5 is a lot, though.
It's beautiful.
It's a lot. And for these two, especially being so young, maybe a little intense, it's a lot to drop on Travis right in the moment. But then also, he's not listening to her, paying attention to what her dreams are in his vision of life. He's like, how are we supposed to raise 5 kids in New York when I'm a famous photographer? How am I supposed to be a famous photographer if we're having these kids? Why isn't he meeting her halfway? Which makes it, to me, all the more rewarding that he's willing to give up that dream to be with her.
Well,
he values her that much.
Realistically, for these two, I mean, he's a mature 22, but he's still 22. And, they've been, in the world of the show, they've been together for just about, maybe 2 months.
Oh.
And
Is that all that's passed? It's just 2 months?
just this season,
It's
yeah.
Not a
fast.
lot, man.
And
Two short months.
it's very honeymoonish, and yes, they've had their little squabbles, but I mean, they've never had serious conversations about the future, and they've never really thought about what their lives were going to be if they stayed together. So that's what we liked about this, was kind of forcing them to confront that, and they have never talked about what they wanted in their lives. So, but now they kind of have to figure that out.
Yeah. Which, I'm just worried, would Trav resent Lori for being there and not him never taking that shot at being a photographer?
Like Keanu Reeves in Devil's Advocate, I assume. is what you-
Exactly.
what
That's
you're referencing.
I assume that's what you've based the entire course
That's where
of the
our
series
next
on.
season's headed.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, great.
No, I think they'll. I think that they are both committed to each other enough at the moment that they can probably find their middle ground. I don't know what their middle ground is. What's the middle ground between the country and New York?
New Jersey.
Richmond, Virginia, actually.
I was just gonna say Richmond,
Yeah.
Virginia. Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Cool, guys. I'm from California. I don't know where that is.
Me too.
It's in Virginia.
I'll
Nope.
take you some.
No?
I haven't heard of it.
It's just
My-
on
my
the,
parent- my
it's the
parents are
East
there.
Coast.
It's the first state, Virginia.
Nope.
No?
Doesn't sound familiar.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, fake marriage blows up. But it leads us into this very lovely baby moment.
Baby
Cool.
moment. I can't believe we had our baby moment.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, Jenna.
Well, she's pregnant. There hasn't been a baby moment.
I'm gonna just say right now there won't be a miscarriage.
If there's a miscarriage on Cougar Town, I'm gonna stop watching.
On a very special
It's
Cougar
tough
Town.
to do that really, really, really funny miscarriage episode. So.
No. You'll do it just like All in the Family with the episode where Ethel deals with that intruder.
Oh god.
Now, do you think that they'll fast forward 5 years? They've done that on other episodes or other series where they fast forward and they start this season off 5 years ahead.
That sounds like
I
a lot of
mean,
work, Jenna. I'm not gonna lie to
given-
you. I don't see us doing that.
Given the amount of wine our people drink, like 5 years is a stretch that any of them are going to
What
be
about
there.
1 year?
Maybe 2 weeks.
Maybe 2 weeks. They're not going
2
to be
weeks
around.
later.
Listen, they have so much wine in their bloodstream now that I honestly don't know how much longer their hearts will pump. But, here's the thing. We jump ahead like that, and I totally had a joke and I lost it. So
If we talk about it, we could talk about it again. Maybe it'll come back to you.
I would appreciate that. Can you go back about 2 minutes?
Yeah. So the All in the Family episode where Ethel deals with the intruder.
Let's not do that.
Right. And all we know is she's pregnant.
It's
Hasn't
true.
been a baby
Hasn't been a baby yet.
yet.
What I was
hope
going to
they
say.
I hope they start. Go ahead.
I figured out what I was going to say. It was a nice segue into our
It
next
worked.
story.
It totally worked.
Thank you, Melody.
You're
This is
welcome.
why you're a crucial part of this panel.
It's the only reason I'm on staff is when people forget things, I circle back and it comes back.
How much does that pay?
Like $3.50 an hour.
Cool. So here's the thing. If we jumped ahead 5 years, right? Bobby and Grayson, who were grappling with being 44 in this episode, which was already hard enough, now they got to grapple with being 49. I don't see it. I think we got to see that midlife crisis play out.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. If I've learned one thing from Matt, it's he's usually right because we've been
But I
called
was
out
wrong
so many
'cause
times.
you were right.
No, our co-host Chelsea, who's not here tonight, we've been called out so many times, and Matt's been right on everything, especially
Okay.
the dime eyes. We didn't think that Grayson was called dime eyes.
For whatever
we didn't
rea-
want to hear it.
Yeah, you didn't
still
want to
don't
hear
wanna
it
hear
because
it.
you just wanted
He was
him to
called
be a
Dynamite.
walking pair of abs,
Fine.
but he is
I'm
a
just
man with dime-sized eyes and a heart the size of Texas.
Fine, we give up. We give up. We give up.
Okay.
There's no cheese in a regular burrito. Fine, you have
Yeah,
it.
there's no cheese in a
You
regular
win.
burrito.
Have it your way, just like
So
with
here's the
everything.
thing, right? Bobby has joined this new rec center. He's trying to get more activity. Grayson is feeling very competitive because hockey season is over. So Bobby invites him, come on with me. We got a basketball class. It'll be great. Our basketball team, whatever. And it turns out that, you shouldn't be signing up for classes while you're washing 3 puppies in a sink.
I've always said that.
Yeah. Is that advice that your parents gave you when you were young?
It was the one thing my dad said before he kicked me out of the house.
Boy, don't you sign up for no classes while you're washing 3 puppies in no sink now.
Yeah, and then he handed me a card. He's like, and this is the only other thing you need to know. And then there was just a quote. It said, "It ain't mine." Sweet.
Keep going to the well, and we'll get water soon. Okay. So unfortunately, they're supposed to be doing breakdancing instead of basketball. And they're like, screw this. But then one of the young toughs, if I can call them that, is that PC?
I think it's pretty tough.
Okay.
That was his name, actually.
Oh.
He's a rap artist. He's Young Tough.
Yeah.
TUFF. It's look for that on iTunes.
I will. I will look for that on iTunes. I hope to see his single drop soon.
Yeah, me too.
But he calls them old. Grayson ain't having none of that. It's his Marty McFly syndrome. Someone calls him old, he has to challenge. Same way Marty, anytime called him a chicken, had to challenge. So he wants to serve up a hot piece of breakdance after we stretch and learn a routine and do all the things that are necessary, and we're just going to walk out while
Stretching
mumbling.
is very important.
It is, especially as you get older.
Jane Fonda taught us that.
Yeah. Weird, numerical thing, and it probably wasn't intentional, maybe it was, let me know, but Grayson and Jules are the same age. They're both 44, which is double 22, which is what Travis is as he's having a baby. And I might just go into some kind of a beautiful mind coma here if I keep thinking about it, because this isn't lost.
I was thinking more like pie. Like, you're really getting in there.
Yeah, man.
Matt
It's a
gets in
riddle,
there.
yeah.
He doesn't mess around.
I don't mess around. I get right in there. We're not going to follow that anywhere. We're going to let that die. So they do stretch, and they come back, and breakdancing is to be had, and it's very, very fun to
Impressive.
watch. Yeah.
Impressive.
We should mention that we have a writer who is a breakdancer. Peter Saji was a b-boy on the mean streets of the Santa Monica Promenade.
Nice.
Nice.
So this was a bit of a passion thing to
I mean, he was broke. He had to breakdance for sushi. It was
breakdance for
dark,
sushi?
for dark days. Yeah, I mean, when you're on the mean streets of Santa Monica, it's
Yeah, I mean, he had to pay his own rent
yeah.
and go to Nobu.
White people problems, man.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Well, he's mixed, so mixed people problems.
That's not a phrase, but
No.
maybe it could be.
Mixed people problems. So what is that? 50% white people problems, 50% what?
Breakdancer.
Okay. Listen, breakdancer. If we're classifying breakdancers as a race, we're going to get into all kinds of crazy trouble.
We should start doing that for sure.
Okay. Let's find some. We'll start a delegation. United
I can't
Nations needs to
breakdance.
hear
Well,
about
you've
this.
got that box in your census forms that says other. What if it just said breakdancer?
I always am going to write in breakdancer
Me
from
too.
now on.
Me too.
Perfect.
That gives Step Up a whole new meaning in that movie.
See?
Yeah.
The movie is about the Holocaust. A lot of people don't know that.
The breakdance Holocaust.
The breakdance Holocaust.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know about it because there was this whole propaganda thing trying to make it like it never happened. But believe me, the breakdance Holocaust happened, and it was biblical.
It's
So
like
that all in
scope.
the family episode is
full circle.
When
Yeah.
that breakdancer came into our house.
Yeah.
Do the right
and then
thing
he
with
he
breakdancers?
he woke you both up and said, "It ain't mine," and then he bounced. Cool. All right. So I feel like we've adequately covered the episode, except for the very end, the tag with Tom bringing us back to his little Marwin Call house, where he imagines a scenario where Dime-Eyes finally leaves the group. Because, with a baby, there's just one too many people.
He's been trying to kill him off all season.
Quick interjection. You got the Marvin Call reference.
Yeah.
You've seen
Oh,
it.
he
Yeah.
got it.
Everyone needs to watch Marvin Call, the documentary.
It's
If you haven't
amazing.
seen it.
It's
Matt's
really
the
good.
smartest person I know.
That was our
obviously.
inspiration for that story. I think it's on Netflix streaming. It has
It
been for a while.
was, at the very least. I don't know if it still is.
So good.
He
It's
called it out immediately.
best.
He's been calling
so
it that
glad.
ever
Well,
since.
Because it's the second Marwin Call reference I've seen in pop culture. It was you, and it was Raising Hope.
Right.
Also did a Marwin Call
We did
episode.
it first, though.
You did it first 2 years later. But
We
what
found out about theirs after the fact.
the difference
So we
is,
did it
though,
first.
theirs was a throwaway gag for an episode, and you guys have not only built it into the framework of the show, it really fits in perfectly with Tom's character,
It's
which,
so creepy.
it's
It's so creepy.
Here was my first job as showrunner, episode 2. Do you approve $450,000 to build a
Was that in? That's
yeah,
how much
it was
cost?
hundreds of
God.
thousands of dollars. That's why we couldn't do anything else on
I
location
mean,
this year. It
they
was pretty much that
drove-
was entire budget.
They drove
Oh
those
my-
pieces down from San Francisco, the artist studio. His name's Fong. I can't remember.
Fong?
Yeah.
Fong.
Okay,
with an
just
F.
wanted to make sure I got that right.
F-O-N-G. They drove it down on these big trucks like minutes before shooting time, and like the whole time, every single bump they'd go over, they're like, go check the dolls, just to
And the
make
dolls,
sure.
they had to do the dolls like 50 times to get them right. It was
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
think
were
it's all
looking, we're
worth
like,
it.
yeah, can you make
Without
her lips
question.
brighter?
Yeah,
Without
Jules'
question.
hip needs to pop just a little bit more.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, now there are theories that because of Marwin Call, the entire series takes place in Tom's head.
Yes, I love
I don't
this.
disagree.
We're gonna go out on a snow globe, like
Yeah, exactly.
with that little cul-de-sac.
And
was
then
hoping we were
inside
gonna
of
see
that
it.
snow globe is another snow globe with the model Marwin Call cul-de-sac as well.
Yes.
Yes.
And it'll be in the hands of baby Travis and Lori, and it's just been their kids' fantasy about.
Oh
With
my god.
three
I'm about
little-
to throw this on the ground because we just cracked
And then it's
season
inside
6.
one of those beers that Matthew McConaughey's drinking in True Detective at
And
The
then-
Lone
oh,
Stars?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's inside an HP laptop.
it's coming out of Lori's room.
Yes, this was all an AfterBuzz TV exclusive. That is how Cougar Town will end.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so Blake, you've been on the show since its second season.
yes.
Did you take over this year or last year?
Took over this year.
You took over this year. So what can you kind of walk us through the transition? You moved from ABC to TBS. Bill and Kevin left the show. How has the series changed since you moved to TBS, and how has it changed under your tenure?
It's definitely gotten better. That seems to be the overwhelming opinion from people that I talked to. Melody was telling me that the other day. The change from ABC to TBS has actually been surprisingly and fantastically. It's been very, very minor.
Are you guys allowed to be more off the cuff?
In theory, we are, but we felt like our show was established as it was on ABC, and so we weren't going to get too much raise here. But TBS has been great. They're really supportive, and they're really big fans of the show. We're doing shorter seasons, so that's a good thing and a bad thing. On the one hand, there's fewer episodes. At the same time, sometimes if you're doing 22, you got to throw something together kind of last minute that might not necessarily jive with what you saw happening for
And
the entire
everyone's
season.
exhausted, and it's just a long season.
It is. So 13 it's actually really nice. You feel like you get to hit the story points that you want to for each character over the course of the season and do a few goofy things. But aside from the shorter seasons, honestly, there hasn't been that much of a change from our perspective.
Okay. So what was the goal going into this year? Because, we noticed several things over the course of the year. We already talked about how Grayson's character, we've been exploring more of like his insecurity and the things that he has always wanted but was afraid to admit.
That's actually, I think if you know the show very well, that's actually the biggest change in the show. From season 1, he was supposed to be
like a jerk,
like the dark, jerky, tough guy that like was supposed to be like very distant and alluring. And I think part of that is just how much we love Josh Hopkins, and he is the biggest ridiculous goof you'll ever meet. And so much of what happens with his character is straight from his past. Like, he was in a ridiculous breakdancing troupe when he was a teenager, and he loves doing all this goofy performance stuff. So we've just kind of leaned into who he is as a person. And so if you like that character better, that's just who Josh is. But it's been fun for us.
Oh, we've had so much fun with him this season.
He's game for anything. He's so much fun.
That was a moment the breakdancing passed, which Blake approaches the actors, and kind of will film in on the stories. And I remember, I don't know if it was you or maybe someone else, but they told Josh, like, yeah, you're going to be breakdancing. He's like, oh, really? I used to be in a breakdance club. This used to be my name. And, like, it's everything we did on the show.
Party Train was his was his name when he was, like, 13 years old.
He's like, and he just says
breakdancer.
it like, he's like in his, like, mechanic t-shirt sweating from the gym. He's like, yeah, I used to be Party Train. It's like, are you serious?
Yeah, he's awesomely ridiculous. So
Yeah.
Awesome. So after getting Lori and Travis together, obviously you've given them this arc this season. Do you intend to have them stay together through the rest of the series? I mean, it would be...
When Bill was in the show, he would do this thing that we always loved. By the end of the season, everyone is so fried.
Bill's
that,
one of the creators on the show. Bill Lawrence.
Which
I was
show?
talking about Bill from Craft Services, but
my bad.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
but
He's
he
the guy
used
with
to
the bike.
say at the end of the season when we would tackle something kind of difficult, like last year, like, okay, chick has Alzheimer's. Someone would say, how are we going to handle that next year? And he'd be like, man, I don't know. We'll worry about it next year. Mm-hmm. He just wanted to get out of there and go home for the summer. So that's kind of always been our mantra is like, we'll worry about it next year. We literally don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, we have no idea.
So when did you guys wrap? When was the last day of work on the season?
December 20th, 21st, I think.
Yeah.
So that was
like
our last day of shooting.
A couple of weeks ago.
No, Melody.
No, Melody.
It's April 1st.
It's April 1st,
I
Melody.
need to talk to you after this is done. It's about something different.
Okay.
Melody, it's April 1st. You know.
Sweetheart, do you want some more wine?
I've been having a lot lately.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. All right, Jenna.
I lost my question.
That's okay.
I was thinking about something, but then I.
What was your favorite episode to break this season, and maybe also what was the most difficult to break?
Wow. Oh.
Jen, you go answer.
Jen, you're
Yeah,
new,
you're
so
on the
you're
hot
gonna have the
seat.
freshest
You
approach
go
to
on the hot
this.
seat.
I
Much better.
mean,
Oh man.
Let's go around.
you may know her as Azriel.
Oh, that's right.
The makeup's not as dark.
This was Azriel, Trav's friend from the coffee shop.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
She was
I
wearing
didn't even
glasses
think
and
about
a
that.
beanie and
My hair
she
was
was
really
super
greasy.
hipster.
Yeah.
Black,
She just
black
came,
lipstick.
Yeah.
as is, and we're like, you should do this, and she walked right on
Yeah.
set as she got
Yeah.
to work.
So my favorite episodes are probably Azrael's episodes. And yeah, my least favorite episodes are probably all the other episodes that she wasn't in. So.
Cool. So walk me through the process of writing an episode of Cougar Town. It feels like it's looser in terms of plotting, I think, than a lot of other sitcoms that I've seen, and I know that sort of happened in the halfway through the first season when we found that the joy is watching these people interact around the island, drinking wine. Is it ever tense in the writer's room, or is it typically just, throwing around jokes?
Melody, is it ever tense in the writer's room?
Be honest.
Be honest.
Do you know how many people listen to this network?
I feel like you guys want me to say yes, but it's not.
It's okay.
It's really not. It's so easy. It's so nice.
We just want you to tell the truth.
That's great.
It's a
like
lot of
this.
fun. We have a very, very cool group all the way around, except for Sean Lavery. But we have almost entirely cool group all the way around, and it's very much a free-for-all. All ideas are welcome. The bad ones usually get thrown out. Sometimes they make it on the air. Sheesh. We just kind of just whatever makes us laugh is what we want to pursue. And a lot of times that works out incredibly well, and other times it doesn't. And I think more often than not we get it right. So we have a great room and we have a lot of fun.
Great.
Now, would you say that most of the writer, like, how many men to women is it? Because sometimes Jules, she sounds like a dude.
What?
So it sometimes feels like it's a male heavy.
It's a serious accusation.
I'll be honest with you.
Sometimes she sounds like a dude.
I'll be honest with you. That is crazy. No, I'm kidding. That's actually Courtney. That's who she is. She says dude more than anyone I've ever known.
More dude.
She's dude and she's bro and she's man and she's that is all her.
She's from Alabama.
He's from Alabama. She's the Alabama Slammer, and we can put sweetheart in her mouth, but it's gonna come out dude. That's all. That's all Courtney.
All right.
Yep.
I thought that it was just like a male heavy room. I'm like imagining all these guys and like two girls.
We
have two girls here.
Yeah.
50-50, I think.
It is, but a lot of the
The
guys
girls
we
have to dance.
Yeah, we
while the guys are working.
right. It's just
Traditionally.
go-go boots.
Yeah.
And the guys we have are just very effeminate. So it's really the chicks leading the room, I think, as far as that.
I understand that. It's fine.
So Jen, this was your first year on the show,
It was.
and it's your first produced credits. Was it daunting coming into the show this year?
Not really. Everyone was.
Did you hear that, Blake? She didn't feel daunted at all coming into your show, man.
That was the first thing I told her when I met her. Is like, if you want to be daunted, this is not the place for you.
Yeah,
And she didn't get up from the table, so I knew we had our person.
No, everyone was so great.
Except for Sean.
Except for Sean, yeah. Yeah, Sean was just so mean to me right off the bat.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was definitely very scared at first, but then everyone immediately was so nice and so great.
Oh.
So it was
But like
the
I was
best.
probably the nicest.
But like Mel definitely bought me like a burrito, I feel like, before anyone else showed
Probably
me any
within
kind
the
of
first few
kindness.
days.
Yeah.
With cheese, because whatever
exactly.
that argument was, burritos should have cheese.
Thank you, Matt.
I'm not
Thank you.
I'm not talking
Thank
about
you.
whether or not
Burritos have cheese.
I'm not talking about whether
Yeah.
or not they should have
A
cheese.
traditional one does not.
A traditional one does not.
I'm just saying.
Well, a traditional
was a
one
big
is a very
debate.
tiny donkey.
Thank
but
you.
A burrito that we
Thank
eat
you.
has cheese.
I appreciate that so much because a burro is a donkey.
Yeah.
A burrito would be a tiny donkey.
Yeah.
Which begs the question, how did we get here where we call wrapped up tortillas with stuff in them burritos?
It's all the same. If it's a burrito, if it's a quesadilla, it's all the same. It's just a different shape.
It's not the
Right.
same at all.
But that's what Bobby Cobb learned the other day after his
I know.
burrito fixation.
Yeah, but that's
agree.
what I'm saying. He said it's not the same at all. It's a different shape.
He's not a bright.
It's a different
he's not
shape
not a bright
entirely.
man.
And quesadillas definitely have cheese.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've
We got
learned
off
to not
topic.
disagree with
Sorry.
Matt because
That's all
we've
right.
been told every time that we've disagreed. So.
That's not. You make it sound like I'm
We
leading a
have been
dictatorship,
told.
and
We
that's
have
not
been
what
told.
this is.
If Chelsea was here, she would tell you we've been told.
That's why she's not here, because she spoke up.
Okay.
It's not why she's not here. She's busy. Okay. I want to thank you all for joining us. It's been an absolute blast having you on the
Thank
show.
you so much for having us.
And it's been great watching the show this season. You should be really proud. It legitimately, I
Thank
think,
you.
is
It
the
was
best
such a
season
fun
they've done.
season.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching
Yeah.
and for the wine.
Yeah,
Hey,
you're very, very welcome. I think just like a couple more questions before we head out. You know, what is something that you'd love to see next season and beyond? You know, I'm trying to remember. Have you been renewed for a 6th season?
We haven't. Like, I think we'll probably find out, like, actually in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'm optimistic. I'm saying,
Should
like,
we tweet to
67,
TBS?
68%. Please, by all
sure,
means.
please.
By all
Should we tweet
means.
to them?
Yeah.
Cougar Town TBS at Cougar Town TBS.
Or hashtag Cougar Town TBS?
Well, I think they have a Cougar Town TBS though too, right?
Just do both.
Yeah, that's
Just do
their,
both.
that's their Twitter.
Both a double
Okay,
tweet.
well then we put that to you, the fan community. If you love Cougar Town, tweet, email, text, do whatever you can do. Cougar Town TBS, let them know you demand a season 6. Because on the strength of season 5, how amazing could season 6 be? I'll tell you, very.
And there's a baby.
I know, there's a baby.
Babies
Will we
are
see
always
this baby?
cute.
Will we see this baby?
We don't know because there still could be the hashtag
know.
Cougar Town TBS miscarriage.
Maybe Stan will come back. Maybe Stan's gonna be like accelerated growth and he'll be babysitting.
Stan could develop that disease that Robin Williams had in the movie Jack. He could get that Jack disease, and before we know it, he could totally be, you know, the same age as the rest of the cul-de-sac crew. He's drinking wine, but he's still in his mind 6 years old.
Maybe.
He'd be jacked up.
He could be all jacked up. See, this is why you get the Cougar Town TBS dollars, and I get
the
the
spin-off.
Yeah.
Save the spin-off
Yes.
for later.
Yeah.
Yeah, work on
pitch
your
that to
packet.
TBS.
You know, save that as a pilot. Cool. Anything else from you, Jenna?
No, I'm good.
Cool.
Should we do predictions? for
Let's
next-
do predictions.
Okay, we
Please.
always do predictions
Please.
at the end of
Your
every.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
We have sound effects on this show. I hope that's all right.
I wasn't sure if they were
Don't be
coming in
alarmed.
through here,
Yeah.
just like
Oh,
the
no.
general ones.
Yeah, no, we got briefed beforehand.
There we go. There's our normal prediction.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV.
Everyone else is hearing that, right?
We got briefed beforehand, Melody. I know that you're
That's our
afraid of
normal
sound
prediction.
effects.
They're just, they're coming out of nowhere.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. They're gone now. They're
No,
not
it's just because you're
coming
wearing
back.
headphones. You're wearing headphones and
Oh!
yeah.
It's
Hello, hello.
it's April 1st. Did you know?
So is this all a joke?
This is all a joke. This,
There was
this never
never a Cougar
happened.
Town.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, personally,
What do you see?
What do I
Matt?
see
What do
coming?
you see? Obviously, my crystal ball is a little bit clearer, but I'm just saying.
Okay. Well,
I've been more accurate.
I think we're gonna get a baby next year.
I'm thinking twins.
I'm
thinking two.
twins would be great and crazy. The big question is the baby born in the premiere in the first part of the season, or is the baby born,
Immediately.
Immediately?
It starts out with Lori in labor.
Lori in labor. I like this idea.
Extreme close-up from the opening frame.
Yes.
TBS, very crowning. It's,
Yes. Come on, how are they going to top last season for that? Yeah, come on.
Very crowning. Is so
I will
good.
say one little spoiler hint for you guys, and don't either of you elaborate on this, please. If we do come back, one of our characters is going to go through a major change, and I think even move out of Gulf Haven.
What?
Yeah, we can't say who right now, but we have something pretty big planned for one of our characters.
Whoa,
I'm gonna
that
throw
would be
it.
so sad.
I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm gonna say it's Bobby.
Bobby.
Here's the thing, right? Bobby, yeah, he has this whole group of friends.
Bobby needs a love
He has
interest.
his son. He has his ex-wife, but he's grasping at straws in terms of a purpose in life. He hasn't really had one.
Maybe he'll just move to the ocean.
He might move to the ocean, or maybe somewhere else that's not in the ocean and has, a place for a golf pro.
Like the sky.
Like the sky.
I can't imagine him without Andy.
I know. Well,
It's actually Stan. He's moving to Dallas. He becomes a rodeo
Stan.
star.
Obviously, Stan.
Child rodeo star.
Well, he starts as a clown and he works his way up.
But this is obviously a CW-esque teen drama where he attends a young rodeo academy and, backstabs and fights and has romances all at the age of 6.
It's called Jacked Up.
But they have that accelerated growth thing going on, so maybe he'll be like 12.
Yeah. And then he'll tell everyone in the room, it's not mine.
It ain't mine.
Perfect. All right. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Let's tell the people where they can find you. Blake, where can the people find you?
Generally at my apartment.
Twitter? Do you have a Twitter account?
Yeah, Blake McCormick, at McCormick Blake, something like that.
I think it's at McCormick Blake. Otherwise, I totally tagged the wrong person.
McCormick. McCormick Blake?
Don't you dare.
I don't know. Jenn D'Angelo, where can the people find you?
I am at Jenn S. D'Angelo.
Okay. And Melody?
At Melody Derloshon.
Okay.
Derloshon.
If you want to know, you can
Yeah.
listen to that to know how to spell it, or you can go to the YouTube version of this podcast and find out there.
Right.
Jenna, where can the people find you?
I am always at Jenna Time Tweets.
Okay. And you can find me on Twitter at Matt Lieberman, MattLieberman. You can also find all of my stuff, whether it's sketches, vlogs, AfterBuzz TV podcasts, or videos for SourceFed on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Matthew D. Lieberman. New shows coming out in the spring. I'm doing Playing House on USA, new sitcom. If you like this, you should probably watch that. And I'm also doing the new season of Mad Men and Orphan Black on BBC America. Want to thank you all for joining in, watching, downloading, streaming, listening. You're all the best. See you next year. Good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.